So we're doing a review for multiplying, dividing, and decimals. The first one, we got Mr. Lakata. He walks 17 6/10 miles a month. There are 12 months in a year. How many miles will Mr. Lakata walk in a year? So we know the first month would be 17.6. The second would be another 16 or 17 and a 6. The third one, another 17 and a 6. So that'd be multiplication or repeated addition. If we really wanted to, we could write out 12, 17 and 6/10. But since we know multiplication, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply it by 100. So I'm going to start out with 176 and multiply by 12 with the standard algorithm. And then when I'm done with my answer, with this, when I get my answer, I'll divide by 10. So I multiplied by 10. So first step would be 2 times 6 with the standard algorithm. Regroup. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Regroup. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So then I'm going to index my 0 since I'm going to the tenths. 1 times 6, 1 times 7, and 1 times 1. Add the partial products. 7 plus 3 is plus 1 more is 11. Regroup. So when I'm done with that, since I multiplied by 10 to begin with, I'm going to divide this answer by 10. So it's 211.2 miles a year Mr. Lakata will walk. Okay, next off, we got the St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup banner is 7 8/10 meters long and 9/10 of a meter wide. How many meters does the banner cover? So this is going to be area, and it's length times width. So I need to multiply these two. So I'm going to start out with 7.8 and 0.9. Standard algorithm, I'm just going to go 9 times 8 is 72. Regroup my 7. 9 times 7 is 63. 63 plus 7 is 70. So I have 70.2. But I did 78, 7 8/10 times 9/10. So I'm going to multiply this one by 10, multiply this one by 10. So I need to divide by 100 then. So it's going to be 7 and 2/100 square meters. Since I have one jump there and one jump there, I need to move it 2 in my answer. The basketball team has 6 4/10 gallons of Gatorade for each basketball game. Each jug holds 8/10 gallons of Gatorade. If they fill the jug up each game, how many games? So I start out with this 6.4 and I'm breaking it down into 8/10 of a gallon. So I need to see how many I need. So it's games. So we know it's not going to be a decimal because it's a whole number. We're not going to have like a half of a game, but we could. But so I'm going to multiply my 6.4 times 10. I'm going to multiply this by 10, so I'm working with whole numbers. And since I'm dividing them, it's going to give me a whole number. So I move this over since I multiplied by 10. Multiply this, I'm going to give me 8. It's just a common factor. 8 times 8 is 64, and I have 0 left over. So it's going to be 8 games. They will have Gatorade left. Miss Volrath is making chicken and rice for her family. She cooks 18 4/10 ounces of chicken, 33 2 ounces of rice. She combines the chicken and rice. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add those since I'm combining them. I'm going to align the decimals when I add. 4/10 plus 2/10 is 6/10. 8 plus 3 is 11. I'm going to regroup to the tens. I get 51 6/10. But she's going to divide that chicken and rice up between herself, husband, 4 kids. So that's 6 people total. So I'm going to have 51.6 divided by 6. And the first thing I'm going to look at is my 51. I cannot go into the 5, so I'm going to make a group of 8 and go on my 51. 6 times 8 is 48. Since I add a 0, I'm going to do 80 times 6 and get 480. Subtract that. and get 36. And I know 6 times 6 is 36. I'm going to add these together, my partial quotients, and get 86. But I know this cannot be the answer because I only have 51 and 6/10 ounces total. So since I multiplied this by 10, if I did, I'd get my 516. So I need to divide this by 10. So it's 8.6 ounces of chicken and rice for each person. 8 and 6/10. The next one is just the product. So if I was doing this standard algorithm, I would start with my 76. I multiplied that by 10, and I multiplied this one by 10 and just get 9. 8 times 6, or 9 times 6, sorry, 9 times 6, 54, 9 times 7 is 63, plus my 5 that I regrouped is 68. And since I multiplied by 10 twice, I need to divide by 10 twice, or divide by 100, and I got 6 84/100ths. So 6 84/100ths. Mr. Lakata bought 6 bags of Cool Ranch Doritos. Each bag cost $2.79, so I could do repeat addition again, $2.79. So if I did an estimate, it's going to be above $12. And if I went to $3 per bag, it'd be 18. So I know my answer needs between $12 and $18. So first thing I would do is multiply this by 100 and just put 279 times it by 6. So I times that by 100 and do the standard algorithm. 9 times 6, 6 times 7 plus 5, regroup. 6 times 2 plus 4. And since I multiplied by 100, divide by 100. So $16.74 is how much he spent. Miss Brogan worked out at the gym 3 2/10 hours last week, watched television 8 9/10 hours. If Miss Brogan goes to the gym for 6 weeks, how many hours will she work out in total? So the first thing is I can do is cross this out. I do not need the 8 9/10 hours for watching television. I do not even need that number. Area model. So for my area model, my other number I need is 6 weeks. So I could repeat addition, but since we went area model for division, I'm going to put my 6 on the side. I'm going to put my 3. I'm going to write this in an expanded form. 3 plus 2/10. And then I'm going to multiply. 6 times my whole number is 18. 6 times my 2/10 would be 12/10. So I need to put my decimal there. If I wanted to one jump and one jump, I could do that as well. So I need to add my partial products together and get 19 2/10. And this is hours at the gym. Miss Kinney has $7.84, and she wants to buy tennis balls at the tennis store. Each ball costs 49 cents, and rackets cost $87.98. How many tennis balls can she buy? Write a multiplication and division equation. You could use, so I don't have to solve the problem. I just need to write the equation. So what I'm looking for is the racket. I don't even need that number. It doesn't even mention anything about that. How many tennis balls can I buy? So if I have 49 cents, I'm trying to find how many I can buy to get $7.84. Or I can take $7.84 and divide by 49 cents. Either way. You have 2 and 9600th gigabytes of data on your phone. You want to download 3-minute songs that use 74 gigabytes of data. How many songs can you buy? Show your work. So on this one, since we are going to multiply this one by 100 and multiply this by 100, so now I have 296 gigabytes. Divide by 74. Since I divided both the divisor and the dividend by or times them by 100, I can use whole numbers instead of worrying about that, the decimals. So we can make a guess. This is close to 75 cents. This is close to $3. So I know that 75 cents plus 75 cents is $1.50. So 2 of those equals $1.50. So 4 of those would equal around $3. So I'm just going to try 75 times 4 over here. 4 times 4 is 16. Regroup. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 1 is 29. So just by estimation, I figured out it was 4. It doesn't matter if I used 3. I would have subtracted and I would have got 74. So if you would have guessed wrong with your estimation, just trial and error on that one kind of to get close to your 4. So you can download 4 3-minute songs for your data. North Carolina basketball team has 4 2/25 of Gatorade jugs full of Gatorade. Each jug holds 4.7 gallons of Gatorade. How many gallons does the team have? And I'll use area model. So what I'm going to do is put my 4 7/10 on the left side. So that'd be 4 7/10. And then my area, I have, then this one I'm going to put on top. 4 plus 2/10. And here's the tricky part. A lot of people today were putting 5, just 0.5. And it's actually 500. So I need to annex a 0 right there to get make sure my 5's in the hundredths. The 5 is not worth a tenth, it's worth a hundredth. And that was a little tricky for some today. So now I'm just going to do my partial products. 4 times 4 is 16. I need to take my 4 times my 7/10. When I take that, I get 28/10 or 2.8. So I moved it once back here. 4 times 2 is 8, and I moved it once. So 4 times 2/10 is 8/10. 2 times 7 is 14. Or if you want to do tenths by tenths and get hundredths, 1 time, 2 times. So 1, 2. My new decimal place is right there. So 14 hundredths. 4 times 5 is 20. And I moved it 2 places, so I need to move it 2 places again. And 7 times 5 is 35. And another tricky one, since I moved it 2 times up here and 1 time over there, it's 3 total. So if I start here, I go 1, 2. I still need to go 1 place. So I need to make sure that's in the thousands. So I need to add a 0 and the tenths to make that work. So next I can add up these right here. So it's kind of tricky since I didn't line them up perfectly. I'm going to add a 0 and my tenths just to keep it lined up. 0 plus 8. 6 plus 2 is 8, and 1 that's actually worth 10. So I have 18.8 there. So since there's nothing over here, I can put a 0 there if I wanted to for my decimal. So there's nothing in the hundredth or thousands, sorry. So thousands. So 5, 3, and 2 is in the tenths. So I added the columns. So now I'm going to put those over here. 18.8, 0.9, 94 hundredths, and 235 thousandths. Add those up. I could put zeros in there if I wanted to, Not going to. 4 plus 3 is 7. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 9 is 19. Carry my 1, regroup it. And I need to label, and this is how many gallons. So I need to add gallons, and I think I labeled the rest. So that should be your answers. Good luck. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I'll try to check my email later tonight, or tomorrow morning I will check it again.